Welcome to the channel, everyone. I am the famous YouTuber, Beakable. Okay, well, semi-famous. Anyway, I'm gonna make a video I kind of wanted to do, which is Beyblade Burst Relationships rank from healthy to toxic. I done something similar with siblings in the past, but I thought I would just do every relationship ever. You know that's going to be a very long video, so I had to divide it by seasons. I'm starting with season 1, and if you guys like it, I'll keep going and do all the seasons. I didn't include every single relationship ever. I tried to do the ones with the most, I don't want to say emotional moments, but like, of bonding. I don't know, like there has to be something I can work with. I know I forgot a few, but I got most of them. So let's get right into it. The gold star for the most healthy relationship. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, most of the relationships are very healthy, so it was hard. I'm gonna pick my number one. I'm gonna pick my number one choice, and that is going to be Volt and Rantaro. So, what do I say? They pretty much shared a brain in season 1. They spoke their own language. They would fight like before tournaments, and people would think they're fighting, but they're like, no, that's just what we do. They like, and also like when Volt was being like yelled at by like Wakia and even Shu, I think one time Honcho would always stand up for him. He always got his buddies back. And Volt's a little less good of a friend, I think, than Honcho, but overall they're great friends, and they make fun of each other, they joke around, they have fun too, but they also got each other's back when the time's good. I don't know. There we go. Let's go to the next one. The one it's a little less good, but it's still great. Silver medal. That's gonna be Volt and his mother, because we gotta point this out, that Volt, his mom is a great mom, and Volt, of course, is a great son, and he cares about his mom. At least in season 1. He's always very happy to see her. Like, it was devastating when he thought her oven she gave away her oven because of Naoki, remember that? He thought that she got rid of her oven. Yeah, he was devastated about that. They just clearly have a good good bond. But I didn't put them number 1 just because they don't have as much screen time together. And of course, Volt does drive her crazy, but I think Volt drives everyone crazy, let's be real. Next, you got Volt and Xander. Yeah, they're kind of like Volt and Rantaro, but just less screen time together. They pretty much think the same. They do like the same things. They do the same stuff. They've known each other since they're kids. They're very competitive. They joke around. Yeah, in Evolution, but I'm gonna say only in Burst for this. No, I won't actually. I'm gonna say in Evolution they did have a little bit of a. Xander was like disappointed in Volt for losing, which is kind of stupid. Like, I get it, you're working hard to beat him because he beat you, and then he just lost so bad. But yeah, other than that, they have a pretty much perfect friendship. They just don't spend enough time together. You think they would join the same team? I know they like being rivals, though, so never mind. Let's go to the next one. Number 4. We've got Volt and Ken. Another great friendship. Volt was Ken's first friend. Yeah, Ken was this quiet guy, didn't really have any friends, and Volt, kind of forced him into a friendship, really. That's why I put him a little lower, because, respecting boundaries or something like that. But I think it worked out, and it was a good thing for Ken that Volt made him be his friend, and they're still friends till the end of season 2, I guess. Just kidding, I know they're still friends, but yeah, they get along perfectly. Volt always had Ken's back, and I know Ken would always have Volt's back. He actually did when Volt went to fight Wakia alone. Ken and Rantaro both went right after him to make sure he was okay. So that was cool. Let's go to the next one. We got Daigo and Ryota, a sibling relationship. These two clearly care about each other a lot. Yeah, Daigo's always nice to Ryota. Every kid he meets reminds him of Ryota. That's how obsessed he is. Yeah, and Ryota looks up to Daigo. I forgot Ryota and Ken. They would have been in the, like, top 3. But yeah, these are a great relationship. The only thing is Daigo did lie to him about him cheating, and he shouldn't have cheated if he cared about his brother that much. That's it. Other than that, they're great, but they could have had more screen time together too. Let's go to the next one. Xander and Quan. These two get along great. They're on a team together. They're also stated to be old friends, but Quan left the team, which is not very friend-like. Blah, 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 rivalry stuff. I know. He wanted to change. He wanted to explore. You think you could have explored with his friend, though. But, yeah, other than that, they get along great. They never fought. Xander was always respectful of his decision, and he was really happy when he came out. When he came back, there was no resentment or anything like that. Great friends. It's great. And then, I think we're almost out of the healthy category, I think. But let's go Ken and Ben. Another great representation of friendship. I don't know. Ben really, Volt started the making Ken more confident, but Ben really made Ken more confident. He helped him, like, he talks, when he met Ben just knew he wanted to be his friend, and now Ken talks so much without the puppets, and they're a great team. They're both, like, beasts, in a way. They're both, like, seem like they like animals, I don't know, but they're very similar. They get along great as a team, and yeah. Oh, okay, I think this is the last of the healthy. Maybe one more. No, we'll say this is the last one. Okay, this is the last one. The last one of the healthy category is Volt and Daigo. Of course. We had to have Volt. Almost all of Volt's friends are in the healthy category, because Volt is so easy to be friends with. They get along great. Daigo always looks out for Volt, and Volt always has Daigo's side, even at his worst. I gotta talk about when Daigo cheated. That's like his big arc. What happened was Daigo cheated, and he felt so guilty about it, he quit the team. Volt didn't know this at the time, but he was just so upset about Daigo quitting the team that when he found out, he didn't even really care that he cheated. He just wanted his friend back and forgave him, so that was, like, really cool. But Daigo was actually more comfortable telling Shu first. I should have put Daigo and Shu on this. Did I put them on this list? Yeah, whatever. Let's get into the medium. I know I'm super unprofessional, but I'm going to say Daigo and Shu also deserve a spot in the healthy relationship. These two are both the most sane members of the Bay Club. They always are looking out for everyone. They're definitely the more softer spoken and more mature of the group, so they get along on that, and they definitely don't have too many moments. That's why I didn't put them on the list, but I changed my mind because I realized they did have that moment when Daigo cheated and he talked to Shu. They definitely do respect each other. They just didn't have enough moments, so they're going at the way end of the healthy tier. Let's go to the medium tier. Okay, I'm gonna admit I'm really pushing it when I'm saying medium, because this show doesn't have much to work with, okay? They just battle with tops. There's nothing toxic really going on here. But let's go start it off. We got Shu and Xander. They definitely seem like they're on good terms. They're friends. But even, like, just something I noticed is, like, when Xander came back, Shu didn't even really, like, say hi to him or even, like, seem happy that he was back. Like, when he came in Season 1, like, when he first appeared. Let's see what else. But Xander was, like, he knew how to fix Shu's shoulder, and he knew what was up without him even telling him. So clearly they're good friends. I don't know why I put them this low. Honestly, they're fine. Just like what I said. Let's go to the next one. Okay, this one is only medium because they didn't interact enough. And that is Hoji and Rantaro. These two, I think, could have been a good bro duo. They are both the underdogs of their friends who take up the spotlight all the time. Yeah, I think that was like their first moment is like when they kind of bonded over that. And, they're the underdogs. Honcho to Volt and then Hoji to Wakia. They're like they're always way beneath them. Always. And yeah, I think they could have been good friends. And another time was in the Barnhouse episodes. I'm tripping, not Barnhouse, that's a whole different show. In the cabin episodes, Ryotaro and Hoji kind of had a talk. Hoji told Wakia's backstory to Honcho because I guess for him to understand him better. I don't really know why he did that, but you could see they have a good connection. They could talk a lot. So that's pretty cool. But I just don't think they would consider themselves friends. Or, I don't know. Honcho got too many friends that he could count, as he says, so maybe they are. Next! Alright, we got the duo everyone was looking for. Shu and Volt, the dream team. These two have an unbreakable bond. But just because they have an unbreakable bond doesn't mean there aren't some issues in their relationship that happened. Let's start off at the beginning of the show when Shu hurt his shoulder. Volt very much wanted to help him, annoying Shu, and that made Shu mad. I don't know. Yeah, they just got into an argument about that. It was a lack of understanding, I guess. And yeah. But let's go into the real thing, which is when Shu became Red Eye. Yeah, dude, he lost to Louie, and he was mad, and he wanted to be stronger, so we did that. And, he hurt his friends, including Volt, along the way. I mean, Volt was impacted probably the most out of Shu's friends. So, that was not good. But anyway, they were pretty good. Like I said, they're perfect. They're just had a few issues as the show went on, being the two main characters. Of course, that's going to happen. Next, we got Volt and his siblings. They're pretty good. They joke around. I like the joke that Volt hates his siblings secretly. I think he thinks they're annoying. But, like, generally in the show, he's shown annoyance by them. Like, they tease him a lot. He teases them a lot. Well, he doesn't really tease them a lot. He just gets angry. For instance, they make fun of him for being like this puppet. That was kind of like a joke in Ken's Puppet Show. Remember that? Yeah, really, they just make fun of him anyway. His battling, his personality, his face, everything. And Volt gets mad. And I think Volt would just rather be with his friends than his siblings. But I think they have a good enough bond. They can tease each other and have fun with it. Yeah, they never really had any emotional moments together at all. Like, when Toko got stuck in a tree, Volt was not there to save him. And when Nika and Toko were lost in the woods and crying their eyes out, Volt wasn't even there. I mean, I know they were lost, but still. Volt wasn't even the first one to notice that they were gone. So I think he would much rather just hang out with his friends than his siblings. Next, we got Wakia and Shu. We're getting all these Wakias in the middle here. So these guys are more rivals than friends, I would say. They haven't really had any bonding moments. Besides, like, when Wakia thanked him for battling him. He thanked him for being a good rival. But that's like, they did not really have a close relationship at all, I think. I don't think they hate each other. I think they're fine with each other. And I'm sure Wakia really likes Shu, actually. Because everyone likes Shu. Come on. But yeah, I don't know. Am I crazy? I mean, okay, let me say something. In Evolution, Wakia did so much to help save Shu from being Red Eye. He tracked where he lived. He took them. He even, like, went on a zip line, which he's so scared of, to help Shu. So, he definitely cares about Shu. But I'm not sure if Shu really... I'm sure he does. He's just a quiet guy. So, maybe it's not that bad. But they just don't do enough to put him any higher. Oh, Wakia and Volt. Now, at the end of the show, these two actually have a good relationship, not toxic at all. But we can't forget the early days, when Wakia was quite mean to Volt. Yeah, like, even after they became friends, when Wakia, because Volt saved him from crossing a bridge, Wakia was still like, not very nice to him, even though he promoted Vault to leader. He was still like calling Vault a bad leader and stuff. And something for Shu and Daigo, I don't know why, they just let him say this stuff about Vault. Like, Shu and Daigo were just fine with it. And even told Honcho to calm down, because Honcho stood up for Vault when Wakia was being mean to him. Like, I don't get it. But that's something that happened, if you guys don't remember. Anyway, but they do have moments where they care about each other, and, or more like where Wakia cares about Vault, because Vault always cared. But yeah, like I said, at the end of the show, they're great. Even in Evolution, Wakia is a lot nicer to Vault. Yeah. Next, Zack and Akira. I had to put Zack in this video. I was debating either Zack and Akira or Zack and Vault, but I had so many Vault relationships, I decided to do Zack and Akira. Because, really, Zack doesn't really have any emotional attachment to anyone. Like, there's no real friendships he really has in the show. I could have done Orochi and Zack too, but they even bonded even less than Zack and Akira. So let's talk about Zack and Akira. Akira looks up to Zack. They battle. It's really close. Zack respects Akira now. Oh, he initially thought Akira was annoying, but now he respects him, and they even shake hands. Oh, not much to go with there, but they were seen sitting together afterwards, so it is implied that they are friends. I would say it's Zack clearly probably views himself as higher importance, so there's that. But other than that, I mean, again, not much to work with, so I don't know where to put him. So middle is probably fine. Now let's go to the toxics, Louie and Gabe. I'm really trying to think. Is Gabe, like, does he not stand up to Louie out of fear or respect? I'm thinking it's out of respect, to be honest. So, let's talk about these guys and their friendship. Louie was this quiet guy who was kind of creepy and off-putting to everyone, but Gabe befriended him because Louie always watched him battle, which is kind of creepy, honestly. But Gabe thought it was, like, cool, I guess. And eventually Louie challenged him, and Gabe realized Louie was super strong. So I do think it was, like, this kind of respect. Too bad Gabe never came back in the show. I think he really should have. But that's not what we're talking about right now. We're talking about their relationship, their friendship. But I really would have liked to see how it evolves, because Louie's a lot nicer in the new seasons. But in Season 1, he was more quiet, and when he talked, he would say something very nasty. He would insult his teammates. He made it very hard to work on a team. It's funny that the team with bad teamwork won. Just want to point that out. But, yeah. Other than, I mean, Gabe really, they had one little, like, not even an argument, but Gabe was smiling because he lost to Zack. But, you know, he was just happy it was a great battle. And Louie kind of yelled at him about that and called him weak. But Gabe didn't really see, Gabe just knows Louie's like that. But I guess you could say the same for, like, Hoji and Wakia. But I feel like this one's a little, I think Louie does respect Gabe in a sense. Whereas Wakia and Hoji, Wakia, I don't think really, he likes him, but I don't think he really respects him. Anyway, let's go on to the next one. Honcho and Shu. These guys are in the middle tier for one reason. And one reason only. Well, actually, they don't really have that many moments. Let me name a few that I can think of. In Surge, they definitely had a little bit of beef about the whole lane situation. Like, Honcho did not understand why Shu was acting kind of cold and dismissive. Vault did, but Honcho just did not. He thought Shu was turning evil again. But also, in Burst, it seemed like just my perception that Honcho was a little jealous of Shu, but he does care about Vault, and he knows that Shu cares about Vault, so he's willing to work with him to help Vault. Like in this picture I got, this was in the Wakia episode where Vault was like obsessed with beating Wakia, and Honcho talked to Shu to try to help him out. I don't know. Yeah. That's what I got. Alright. Probably putting this a little too low. But that's got to be the last two members of the Bay Club. That being Wakia and Rantaro. Where do I even start? Yeah, they fight a lot. They don't agree on a lot of things. You know, Honcho's more of like a friendship guy who is more about like, you know, he cares about other people. Wakia's more like cares about winning and himself. So that's kind of like where they clashed on a lot. But I do feel like a lot of the time it was just like teasing each other. Like not so serious. Besides on the team battles, they were definitely serious. But even though they fought a lot, like I made a whole video, I think it was like a 7-minute video of just them fighting. But they do care about each other. They do have moments where they cared about each other. Like when Wakia quit the Bay Club to train on his own, Honcho seemed the most upset actually. Well, maybe Volt, but and I'm sure there are other times. I'm sure I'm getting there. Well, you know, they exist, especially in Evolution, you know. They seemed a lot on better terms. Argued a little bit, but not nearly as much as they did in Burst. And I know they're good friends. They get along with Volt, I guess. I mean, you know, they never... I guess why they're this high is because they never did anything too bad to each other, you know? Like some of these other guys coming up. Wakia and Hoji. This is definitely a toxic... When you think of a relationship or a friendship in this case, you think of two sides are even. You're equals, you're partners. But this is just very one-sided. Wakia is all the way on the teeter-totter, and Hoji's got nothing there. It's very, like, Hoji doesn't have rights, Wakia is the leader. It's just not an equal relationship, so it doesn't work. Well, it's just toxic and not right. Over time, doesn't really get better. I don't know. Wakia becomes nicer, but we don't really see much of Hoji, so I don't know what happened with them. But let's go on to the next one. Louie and Volt, the main protagonist Volt and the antagonist Louie. Where do you know? These two do seem to be on friendly terms in the later seasons, but we're going to talk about Season 1 right now, even though for other characters I didn't. Okay, I don't know. Fine, I'll talk about all the seasons. So Louie, you know, I don't even remember them really having any kind of feud in Evolution. Am I crazy? I mean, he was a jerk to Red Eye. I remember that, but I don't really think him and Volt really interacted much. But let's talk about Season 1. So Volt and Louie in Season 1. Their first interaction, Louie just said that Volt was a terrible blader because he was using the Cyclone Stadium where the middle spins, and he didn't do very good. And Louie said he was a terrible blader and he doesn't understand his bay. You know, that off front, that sounds pretty mean, but I think he was actually trying to help Volt understand Valtryek. Maybe not. But what's wrong with these guys is, when they battle, Volt actually almost got hit in the face with his bay, and Louie did not even care. And that made Volt mad. And Louie also kind of did this weird thing where he behind stage... This is going to sound so weird, but behind stage, he, grabbed Volt's hands and pushed him against the wall to try to overpower him. Why did he do that? It's like a rivalry thing. Are you threatened? Genuinely, I don't know why he did that. But Louie was a little mean to Volt, but also Volt challenged Louie to a battle, and Louie said no, and that made Volt mad. Oh, Louie also insulted Volt while saying no. He said, you already lost the battle, and he started groveling like a fanboy or something. Oh, man. I watch the show too much, guys. Anyway, Yeah, it's not too bad, but I had to put something in the toxic. This show is for kids. There's not much I can work with. Let's go to the number one most toxic relationship. You know what it is. It's gonna be Louis and Shu. These guys just Shu hates Louis. Every fiber of his body, he hates Louis. Again, after Turbo, or even during Turbo, I don't think he really does anymore. But I like to think he does. But in season 1 and 2, he hates this guy. He gave him his scar, which is like his signature thing. He broke his bae, which is his best friend. He gave him his first loss in the series. His only loss in the series, if I'm not mistaken, in that season 1. And he broke his bae, his best friend. Did I already say that? Louis does not respect Shu. He insults him. He calls him weak. He's like, at least you got a little bit stronger. You know, he's like, he doesn't even think Shu is of equal to him. He thinks he's beneath him, like everyone. But the thing is, Shu is not weak. He's really tough. Second strongest player in that season. So it's crazy that Louis thinks he's so much better. But yeah, these two hate each other. There's no other. They never really solved the conflict. Never had a good moment together, really. Yeah, so they just ended on bad terms. I mean, Shu broke Louis' bae at the end of Evolution, and Louis just laughed, which was kind of weird, but anyway, I hope you guys like this video. I sure enjoyed yapping for 30 minutes, so please subscribe and comment below if you want to see more videos like this. Thanks for watching.